Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. This is the Super Dave Special Review. Super Dave here with an actual Superman to review. That's right. And this one I am so stoked about. Can't wait to get a hold of him and break him open. It's Yamaguchi's Revoltech New 52 Superman. Can't wait to see him. And there he is in the box. You can't really see the figure, but that's the figure in that picture. And then look at that artwork on the side, which is very reminiscent to the comic book series Superman Unchained. You can see there that picture of him and the artwork. That's basically what it is. This is inspired by the New 52. There's another one of him flying with Lois Lane. I mean, I'm looking forward to getting him in some of these poses. And then let me show you one more there of him flying. Oh man, just so cool. So this is the book right here, Superman Unchained. You can get him pretty cheap most places now, this graphic novel. And I'm sure there's some others, but that's what this guy is patterned after. It's the reason he looks so young. You saw how he looked in those. And there's all the poses he can get in, showing some of his heads and hands. And then there's the actual figure again, showing off his abilities. So cool. Some more artwork up there, very, very similar to the Unchained comic book. And there's that seal showing that it's authentic there. But I got mine on Big Bad Toy Store, and I'm excited about checking him out. Come on over to our space station where Batman and Supergirl and Wonder Woman are set up, ready to meet the New 52 Superman. And you start seeing some of the action as soon as you open up the lid, even on the lip of the lid. So cool. So you're seeing just so neat touches there that they accented the lids with. That's so neat. And here's a backdrop insert that he comes with. And speaking of that graphic novel, Unchained, I mean, that came straight out of it right there, because that's the back of the graphic novel. So it's certainly inspired by this series, and it's so cool. I like this poster. And here we are inside of Batman's and the Justice League's headquarters, ready to reveal our figure that we're going to be looking at today. And yes, that is right, Superman. And he is so cool. Let's take a look first at his accessories. And Superman comes with two capes. The cloth cape that I have installed on him first of all, and it is wired all the way around the edge, from the collar all the way around the edge of the cape on the bottom and the sides. So that is really cool. But the Revoltech style cape that we're used to is this two-piece cape right here with that black Superman logo on it, and then this collar piece that it attaches to. We'll take a look at that in a moment. And then as far as hands, he comes with flying hands, of course. Then these grappling style hands. Then he comes with this other like gesturing open palm style hands. And then he comes with a set here that is like a pointer finger and weapon holding or grabbing type hand. He could grab his cape or whatever and whip it around. So that is really cool. And then he comes equipped, of course, with two balled up tight fisted hands there. And there's so much detail in those hands, the veins and the bends, and then of course several head sculpts. Let's look at the first one. He's serious there, looking straight on there in that head sculpt that he comes equipped with, and that spit curl and that comic style hair. Really cool, with a little bit of a wash in there as well. And then moving on down to the angry, getting ready to blast something with his heat vision rays type head sculpt. And then there's another kind of straight ahead looking serious looking Superman face. And then there's one of him looking off to the left, and there's one of him looking off to the right. And that is so cool. If we were, you know, in his direction, looks our left, his right there. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. So that is so cool that he comes with so many options in heads. Then he comes with a flight stand. Yes, of course, a Revoltech flight stand and some extra pegs if we need them. And then even a piece that will attach to his back. It's so clear you can't see it, but you can attach it to the end of this flight stand so that you can pose him or stand him up in some dynamic poses in the hole in his back. So we'll take a look at all of those options next, but that's right, we're going to look at articulation. All right, taking a closer look at our new 52 Revoltech Superman. With a lot of your Revoltechs, you get the same issue. You're going to sacrifice some aesthetics when you get closer up because of your articulation, but I like that sacrifice because I like articulation. I'm an articulation junkie. Now I just want to take a little bit closer look at this other head sculpt. I was having a hard time seeing a difference in these two, and I think the eyes are just a little bit less serious. They're still serious, but they're not quite as slanted. Like he's maybe not quite as upset in this one here. But that's the only difference I see. The mouth seems to be the same, the jaw, the hair, but the eyes seem to be a little bit different in closer inspection. All right, let's go ahead with this head articulation. You're gonna like this because guess what? Drum roll, please. The curse of the Superman not able to look up is over with this fella, because look at this. He is able to not only look up, but you're going to be able to get those flight forward poses. Yes, yes, yes. That is awesome. Not only does his neck articulate up that much, but then you've got that neck that goes back all the way, so you're going to be able to get those flight poses with no problem with this guy. Bravo, Revoltech, which we should with this kind of figure, right? But that's excellent, because some of the other ones like Mathex, we thought we were going to get that, but did not, okay, and expected it. But bravo, we got it this time. All right, again with these, well, let me finish with the I'm getting excited. He's going to be able to look down that much, not a whole lot, just because of the way it's designed, but that's enough, especially when you consider the ab crunch that we're getting ready to look at in a moment. But of course he'll be able to, just with the head turned side to side, he'll be able to get pivoting just with the head itself. But then if you add the neck, you're going to really get a lot of motion, a lot of expression, a lot of all the way around. I mean, just about everywhere you go. I mean, this is rivaling what we saw even with Buzz Lightyear by SH Figure Arts. I mean, he was able to look everywhere. Well, this Superman is able to look everywhere. He's doing excellent. He's great. He's able to look, you know, over his shoulder there. I mean, just unlimited range here, it almost appears. So that is excellent. All right, now moving on to the arms. Of course, we're going to be able to get 360. So have to be careful with that joint. You're going to be able to get well above 90 degrees, striking a T-pose, of course. You're going to be able to have a butterfly joint, so you're going to be able to punch in kind of forward. That's built into that ball socket type joint that Revoltech is popular for. So you're going to be able to also go back quite a bit there. And then you're going to also rotate at the shoulders and at the bicep. You're going to rotate at the bicep. And you have a single jointed elbow, but because of the way it's designed, I mean, you get really good range there. And you can hide some of these seams, you just have to work at it. But you get pretty good range, even though if you look in the inner sections, inner parts, you're going to see the workings, but that's where you're going to be posing to try to cover up some of that. But you do have excellent arm movement, and right here you have a little shift, and this is another one of those Revoltech type designs, but you do have a shift here to allow just a little bit more range in whatever direction you need, like with the flight poses or whatever. You'll be able to shift up and down, and the neutral position will be in line with the neck right there. So that's cool. And you saw the back there. I just mentioned that most of that's going to be covered up by the cape when it is on, whichever you choose, and we'll look at both of those in a moment. But you see that little peg hole, that's that piece that I was showing you here, that you can pop this off of the stand, the little claw grip part, and install this whichever direction you need it. We'll put it this way for now. It's tight. And then you'll be able to plug that, depending on which way you turn it, you're going to be able to plug that into his back. You can plug it in his back like that, and you're going to be able to get some of those dynamic poses using the stand. If you can't balance him, you'll be able to balance him with the stand because of that. And then otherwise, removing that and using the claw, you'll be able to get some of your flight poses, which we'll see that in photos. But moving back on to the articulation, I think we've pretty well covered the arms, so I'm going to move those on out of the way here. And I want to show you that he's going to get great ab crunch with the upper torso. Great ab crunch. Just look at the muscularity and the ribs here. Excellent. Love the design of this suit, just the overall colors of that metallic blue and that awesome molded in Superman S Hope logo there for Superman with the gold instead of a yellow, which is more reminiscent of that new 52, but it looks great. And then he's going to be able to bend back just a little bit, not as much with the upper torso, but with that upper torso he is going to be able to rock side to side a little bit as well and turn a little bit, but you don't want to scratch that metallic blue paint. Now then you're going to have the ball joint at the waist, which is going to allow you to turn. That's where you're going to get your turn. But then when you add that along with it, I know he looks weird with those arms like that, but look at that. That is excellent. I mean, you don't need any better than that right there. That is a crunch to he's going to be able to get that Superman punch thing to the ground easily with that. And then you're going to be able to bend back quite a bit amount as well with that waist. So that's excellent. That's going to be good. So you can be able to bend back and then rear forward for those Superman freeze breath or blowing down a door or whatever. So that's really cool. And you're also going to be able to get side to side movement with that side joint as well. The hip and waist joint. So that's really good. Turning, I mean, he's going to be able to hula hoop with no problem, especially when you add the top part and the bottom part together. And the belt is a floating piece. You have that little pad on the side and then that red belt in the front. But that looks great. I mean, look how that metallic paint just pops. And he is missing his cape. We're going to add that here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and you can see how he can even do his super slaps. Put both flying hands on there, and he could do his super slap to rival the Hulk, right? By coming close together. And just to show you too, and I forgot to mention this, of course he's going to be able to rotate and get any direction you want to with the hands, and even vertical like this if you need to. So you're going to have the hand motion that you need for whatever occasion. Now going on to the legs, he is going to be able to get a full split. And again, you can move some of this to cover up. You are going to be able to get a full split thanks to that rotation right here, and in the pelvic area here there's a rotation at the pelvis, if I can get a hold of it, as you see there, and there's a rotation at the thigh. So that's going to allow you to get crazy range just about any direction. The only direction you don't get crazy range is inside, unless you get a bow-legged look like that. Otherwise, if you get it straight on with the knees straight on, you have a little bit of a gap here that you can't close unless you bow his knees outward. So that's the only drawback a little bit to those legs that I've been able to find. But overall, I mean, again, you sacrifice some things just to be able to have this level of articulation. But let's look how far he can kick up. He's going to be able to kick up about that amount. He's going to be able to kick up really good. And of course, with that double jointed knee, and it's really, the way it's designed, it's really a single joint really, but it gets the range of a double joint. You see how nice that moves. So you're going to be able to get those flight poses with no problem there, as you can see. Awesome. And I didn't show you, but there's a separate part of piece on the head here, and I'll show you when we switch heads, that allows that neck to shift over the head. That's the reason you're able to get those flying poses like so. And of course, while we're looking at the legs, let's go ahead and show you that you can also kick to the side. You're going to be able to get those side kicks if Superman needs to kick someone through a building. Chaboom! All right. And now moving on to the boots, you do get a boot swivel. There's like a little rotation going on with that boot as well as a swivel, so that's really nice. And then of course you'll be able to get almost full tip toes, and you got a ball joint in there, so it's kind of like the McFarlane. You have to kind of angle it just right, but you'll be able to go up, and then you'll be able to get good rockers either direction, as well as a toe hinge. So that's really good, and you'll even be able to swivel side to side with that, with those feet too, which is pretty good, being that you can't get a full-on knee forward look with this guy without the bow legs, you know, happening a little bit. So you'll see what I mean if you get a hold of him. It just takes a little practice. These are my least favorite to show on camera, the articulation, because it's so difficult to kind of maneuver some things without it looking wonky. But I really like the looks of this guy. You can see the way those legs look in the back, and there's America's butt. Oh yeah, that's right, this isn't Superman, but I still like Superman's old saying, "For truth, justice, and the American way." All right, looks good. I think we covered just about everything except for the cape, so we're going to do that right now. Okay, so the way this works is you use this collar piece that I was showing you earlier, and you peg these two separate cape pieces into those holes, and I had to use the hairdryer heat up trick to get mine to go in there, because they are so, those holes are so tight. Some have even said they had to Dremel theirs, but I didn't want to Dremel. I just used the hairdryer on that rubber, or the, I'm sorry, plastic, and the holes limbered up enough for me to push them in. But as you see, you can line that cape up so that it makes the S, and then from the front you can do some crazy things. If you're not showing the back, from the front posing, you'll be able to spread some things out, even get the cape to whoosh out like so, and various things like Revoltech lights for you to be able to do. And so, you know, just a lot of possibilities. Even these are on separate ball joints, so they're going to be able to go everywhere. Now let's look at them actually on the character. I'm going to go ahead and line this S back up so you can see here, if I can get it back right here, that you can get that S pretty much lined up to look straight on. That's close right there. Okay. Alright, as you've seen already, there's two giant holes in his back there, and you're going to plug this directly into there as tight as you can get it in there, and then you're going to maneuver your collar pieces on those ball joints, and they can get stuck to each other, so you have to kind of, alright, he was stuck on his hair. Just maneuver those so that they can kind of help make it look like the cape is forming in the back. You can kind of use those things to cover up the balls too that are on his shoulders, as you see there. And so that looks really good. I like the way that collar part looks on there. Even though I'm not a crazy fan of these back wings here, or I should say bat wings, these back pieces of his cape, but I do like the way it forms. And you can't see, I mean, it looks okay. Just trying to get, there we go, got the S going right there. Yep, see, it looks right now. So you'll be able to get some back photos there of that S being, you know, fulfilled, so to speak. But then on the front, as you see, it also, and I let this slip a little bit, there we go. He's hovering there, so it looks pretty cool. And we'll take a look at some more of that. Let me go ahead and stand him up here and see kind of what happens if you spread out that cape like so. There we go. So you see, you're going to be able to get some cool poses, and from the front you can't see the break that you actually have in reality. You're not going to see that when you pose him to have that cape whooshing back like that, or even having him take off, something like that. Let's go ahead and try to raise these legs and get in kind of a flight pose here and see how that's going to look. There we go. You're going to see it there. Just have to get the right angle. There you go. Turn him around. Get the right angle. You have to move these a little bit. Matter of fact, you can even move this so that it goes below or even joins the cape, so to speak. And there you have it. Bend it a little bit more this way. Nope, that didn't look right. Let's see. Trying to play around with. There we go. That looks better. Still have to close that gap a little bit, but then you could tilt it either way. There we go, kind of like that. But you're going to have to work with it. All right, I played around a little bit with it, and now you can see almost seamless there at certain angles, and you can cut his head over and he's going to fly, or you can turn him over here to get a straight on flight pose, like he's looking directly at us there. There we go. So you can see that moving him around, getting him in the right position, you can get him in just about any pose that you want. You just have to shape that cape just the way you want it. And here he comes around. Let's take a look and see if he can do it. It's going to look better from the front. Yes, he can. There it is. That is so cool. So as you see, not only are you getting that Superman punch down to the ground landing pose, superhero type pose, but each part of his limbs are actually touching in the right appropriate way. And I've got the cape kind of whooshed up like it would if he had just bang settled down, landed. But you see his knee and his bended toe, everything is touching, and he's able to look up just enough that you're going to be able to get him to actually look forward, even bending that low to the ground, which is awesome. That looks really dope. That looks so cool. Check that out. He's just landed with authority. So cool. And to give you another idea of just what you can do with that flight stand, taking the clip off and using the little plug in the back, so you can get some dynamic poses that do not require any balance at all, like this running pose. And you know, it's not perfect, but it does, having that type split cape does allow you to put that there and kind of shape it around it, and he can race Flash or whoever he's racing, because Superman is not just the strongest man in the universe, he's the fastest. Cool. So that'll give you some ideas. And here's another fantastic example of the flexibility of this action figure. Of course, there's that stand again, using that back peg just to show you how that cape can whip around and be used to kind of show, especially from the front, it looks even better, make it look like that cape's whipping off to the side and he's kicking really high up, and So you can just do, you know, incredible poses, dynamic poses with this character. So cool. And there he is in full-blown Superman flying pose. As you can tell there, you can definitely strike that excellently with that plastic cape, especially from the front there, and it looks pretty decent even on the side. Looks great, just going strong and powerful in a, you know, fast flying mode with both hands stretched out. Now let's take a look at that cloth cape and see how he functions. Before we put on the cloth cape, I did want to show you right quick how you change his head. You just pop this part off, and as you see, there is this extra piece underneath that is part of the hair. So you take that head sculpt off, and you just kind of leave that hair around the peg and choose which head. We're going to look at the Heat Vision angry type style head and just pop that right on. It pops right on. As you see, that hair is a floating piece, and it'll go up underneath the top hair piece, so that way he's able to look up. So we're gonna have him looking up as he is getting ready to hold somebody and punch them into outer space. But first, let's go ahead and put on that cloth cape. And there is our new 52 Superman holding up Lobo by the neck, getting ready to punch him into next week. He's thinking, Superman's thinking, fanboy, huh? I'll show you a fanboy. To the moon with you, buddy. Getting ready to punch you into another galaxy. Getting ready to punch you somewhere where you don't even know where you're at, boy. Superman's ready. I mean, he can get angry when you mess with him too much, right? He's getting ready to send him out. But there he is with that cloth cape. You can see, not quite there, but as we'll say, you can't quite see the logo because of the bend there, but you can see that you can definitely get that cape into some awesome looking poses with that wire and everything. You have it flaring out and have a look a little bit more natural, you know, than the plastic one in certain poses that you need. So that's really awesome, really cool. Even Wonder Woman and Batman are on point, trying to see what in the world's getting ready to happen. Lobo trying to invade the space station here. And here is our Superman in a great angry looking pose with that Heat Vision head with that cloth cape whipping around, and you'll be able to see the logo now. See, it's imprinted, raised up a little bit onto that cloth cape. Has some pretty big seams, but overall I think it looks great. I mean, if you bend it around and play with it, you can certainly get it in some good poses, and I like this cloth cape. I'm so glad they included that, and you can certainly get it going as you work it. And Superman is working it. I mean, this has got to be the best Superman in my collection so far. You know, if you've been watching any of my videos in the past on Superman, I have been asking for a new 52 Superman that is posable. And we'll look at some in comparisons here in just a moment. But this is it. This is the new 52 Superman, and he is looking awesome. I would have liked some different head choices. I would certainly like his leg articulation around the thigh to be a little easier, and even the cape. But hey, that's Revoltech, and we've just got to deal with that. But the overall look of this guy, man, he is awesome. Matter of fact, I've just got to say it. I mean, with the articulation and the aesthetics, and even the number of hands and heads and these two capes that he comes with, I'm giving him a 10 out of 10. Yes, 10 out of 10 for this Superman. He is awesome, and I am so tickled to have him in my collection. I like him, and I am just tickled to have this version, the new 52 suit. I like it. I like those indentions and all that cool stuff. in his armor, his outfit. It just looks so neat. Check him out. Awesome. All right, as we get into doing some comparisons now, here is our new Yamaguchi Revoltech complex figure, new 52 Superman next to our Moth-X Hush Superman on our left here, and the Solar Suit Superman by Moth-X on your right, the black suit. And you can tell that this new 52 Superman, man, he is imposing, he is commanding, and he's taller too. He's bigger, he's thicker, he's heavier. He is just awesome. And I like his head sculpt. I mean, it certainly does look similar to the one in the comic book. They didn't master it, they didn't nail it, but it looks close. I think prefer this head sculpt. I really like that head sculpt for a Superman, and I even like this one too. But I do like this for the new 52 Superman. He looks good. He's cool. But by far, hands down, this body, his articulation, even his capes, you know, really, especially my Moth-X. I have a lot of trouble with my wired cape on my Moth-X Superman here, the traditional looking suit. But anyway, there's those, and let's look at some other comparisons. And he was the tall one in the bunch close to the Moth-X, but here he stands beside the McFarlane toys, and you can see he is smaller than the McFarlane Superman. And there's the DC Iconic Superman. He's not too much taller here. I think if I reached his neck up just a little higher, being his neck is so articulated, he may almost match the Iconic one there. He's definitely bulkier, broader. And then there's NECA's Superman, and he is certainly awesome, very classic in his appearance and facial features and everything. He is awesome looking, but he's definitely taller than our Revoltech Superman here. But you can see how they compare. And here's the only other new 52 Superman that I have, and I really like him. He is awesome, but he doesn't pose. He doesn't have any ab crunch or any ability to pose in his torso. His legs barely move, his knees bend a little bit. He does have bicep swivel, and his head will turn side to side, but just not a whole lot of posability. He's got a rubber cape. So this is what I've been wanting. I've been wanting a new 52 Superman because I love this look, but I wanted one in a posable form, a really cool form. Now, I will say that I kind of like this head better. I think that looks more like the comic book. But that's about it. Let's do a head swap, just see. And there's a head swap, and I think it actually kind of works, but just the new 52 Superman head that I had first, the skin tone isn't quite right, but if you wanted him to smile, you could technically kind of pass it off maybe a little bit. I mean, it fits, scale, but it's just the wrong color of skin. This one actually looks better, I think, on him than this one looks on him. But anyway, there you have it. All right. And just for fun, here he is beside our Man of Steel, Henry Cavill. I believe this is SH Figure Arts, but I'm not 100% sure. And he's looking awesome next to this guy. I mean, just totally different there. But wait a minute, what is Superman doing? Oh, he's checking out Wonder Woman. Okay, he's looking at there he is beside Hush Batman, and then a SH Figure Arts Wonder Woman from the movie Wonder Woman 1988. And here's our new 52 Superman next to Lois Lane, a Marvel Legends character that I did some head swapping and used this character as my Lois Lane. And she's definitely a lot shorter, but I think it'll still work. And there's our Iconics, DC Iconic Supergirl, and I love this figure, and she looks great beside this Superman as well. She's shorter, but they'll still fit in together, I believe. So cool. And here he is next to a McFarlane Flash. And these guys, these McFarlane, they're just so much taller than most other lines. 7 inches or taller. And so you can definitely see this 6.5 inch Superman is dwarfed somewhat by our Flash there. But there's a Marvel Legends Vulcan, and they actually measure up pretty good next to each other, I think. So you could certainly mix and mosh up these figures if you like. And I think that Lois Lane is looking good. I mean, you know, who doesn't like a petite lady next to his side? And there is Lois next to Superman. And just in case some of you wanted your Superman to come to the rescue for some of your Joes, here's Timber and Snake Eyes over here, and there is Gung Ho from the Hasbro toy line, and they're looking great next to this Superman. I think they fit in scale too. Cool. And here he is getting ready to punch the lights out of Doomsday. And then also there's Storm Collectibles Dark Side. Doomsday is by McFarlane Toys, which that's that Batman something another, but he's my Doomsday anyway. But you know, and of course some people say, well, Darkseid is way too tall, we haven't gotten a Storm Collectible Superman yet. But on his flight stand, like we said with the Mafex Superman figures, I think you can still make it work in photos and stuff and have them fight it out. But that Doomsday is perfect size, and that looks good. Looks cool. There's that cloth cape. He's ready. That angry look. It's looking good. And here's Superman in trouble because of Lex Luthor in his cyborg type suit that he made with a kryptonite rifle. It's weakening our Superman. Lois, help me. I've got you now, Super Dud. And like we said, the McFarlane toys are definitely a lot taller, but you can still make this work. That's looking good together. They could definitely go head to head here. Thank you so much for joining us for this Super Dave review. If you've enjoyed this, please give it a like. Subscribe if you've not subscribed to my channel. We'll have some more reviews coming. We're going to be doing another G.I. Joe Play Day real soon, and a Cobra Play Day. And also looking forward to Silverhawk's Quicksilver coming in. Going to do a review of him. Even got a figure that will work well with Motu Classics and Revelation or Masterverse figures. And we're just looking forward to what's coming up and hope to see you back. Enjoy some photos in the photo gallery.